Welcome to the Tourism Development Commission regular meeting this morning here at City Hall on February 18th. Steve, if you wouldn't mind calling our roll, please.
Yes. Chairperson Alspaugh.
Present.
Vice Chair Meinier.
Present.
Commissioner Kisselberg.
Present.
Commissioner Marion.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Present.
Commissioner Sobek.
Present.
Commissioner Montgomery.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. Just as a side note, we are moving to the end of the meeting, item 2 on our agenda, in the matter of time. Number 3, we have the approval of the last minutes from January 21st, hosted at our wonderful Scottsdale Stadium. Do I have a motion for approval?
I move that we approve the minutes.
Thank you. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, Experience Scottsdale second quarter performance measure reports. Rachel Pearson will be presenting this morning. Welcome, Rachel.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you so much, Chair Alspaugh. Thank you for having me this morning. Rachel Pearson with Experience Scottsdale, and I'm here to give you a few highlights from our second quarter. But before I do that, I wanted to mention that tomorrow is actually the inaugural Destinations Professionals Day. So this is something that Destinations International is bringing forward to really recognize the contributions of organizations like ours. There are over 10,000 global destination organizations like Experience Scottsdale, and the individuals, as many of you know, that work in organizations like ours are extremely passionate about the communities that they represent and are committed to ensuring an incredible quality of life for their residents, ensuring that we've got great talent coming into the industry. We're fostering culture and community within each of our individual places, and really just finding ways to grow the local economy and support our public services through the work that we do. Experience Scottsdale has been serving our community since 1987, and we have 40 individuals who are experts in their area, whether it is marketing or sales or our tourism trade, our finance team. Everybody in our organization is working every single day on behalf of this community. It is through that work that Experience Scottsdale during the second quarter was recognized by the Arizona Lodging and Tourism Association as the Tourism Honoree of the Year. And for that, they really chose folks that were excelling in their respective fields, making a significant impact on Arizona's communities, and enriching the lives of those around them. And so it is with that work and that focus in mind that we have been working towards our 17 performance measures on behalf of the city during this last quarter. So the last time I was here, and that's not a mistake, we have a video coming up, but I talked to you a little bit about our newest commercial called Scottsdale is Calling. We've been airing it nationwide. It ran on British Airways long-haul flights. And starting in November, we were able to debut the commercial in Times Square, and really excited about the opportunity that we have been given, an incredible opportunity, and it is now airing around the clock. So I want you to get a feel for as if you were there, so we're gonna watch a short video. Thank you, Holly. Short trip to New York with that video. Thank you. So, oops, let's move on to the next one. There we go. So the last time I spoke to you, we also talked about some new event activations that our team has been participating in and creating, including the Flavors of Arizona event that we hosted for Condé Nast in New York City. This quarter, we hosted an event activation in San Diego, one of our key feeder markets. We had a sold-out VIP dinner. You can see a photo of that in the middle there. That was for the Del Mar Food and Wine Festival. We were able to really take Scottsdale's chefs, several of whom came with us, and tell our culinary story to this very luxury audience and our future travelers. We then participated in their 2-day grand tasting event, and we had over 2,000 festival goers that stopped by our booth. Now keep in mind, this is a food and wine festival. We had no food or wine at our booth, and yet our prize wheel was spun every 12 seconds. Folks were really excited to win that teal cowboy hat you can see promoting Scottsdale, and some other great prizes, learning more about everything they can do here in Scottsdale. And really that combination of our culinary and the Western experience are all strategies that are outlined in the strategic plan that was approved by the TDC and our council to ensure that we're continuing to find every avenue that we can to push those elements of our community out there. We were able to also gain some incredible exposure through a partnership with San Diego Magazine so that we could market to a much broader audience and make sure that the word about Scottsdale is getting out to that important market. Now, those partnerships are great for us, but we also know that having that organic media coverage that we get, the earned media coverage, is so important in inspiring and influencing travelers on where to go. So we were thrilled in November. We hosted for the 13th time Travel Classics West Writers Conference, and you've possibly heard us talk about this before. It has been coming here again. This is the 13th year. It comes here about every other year. We are the only destination that gets this conference back on a regular basis, and it's really because of the incredible relationship that our Vice President of Communications, many of you know, has with the journalists and with the conference organizer. So with this conference, what makes it unique is these travel writers and editors. We had 67 that came out this time from top publications. They are really coming to learn and pitch each other, but they also have an opportunity to experience the destination. And we were so pleased many of those folks not only got to see the destination during the conference, but also quite a few, I want to say it was about a dozen or two, elected to come early or stay late because they wanted to explore even more of Scottsdale. And what's great about that is that they're learning about the destination, they're finding editors they can pitch to. Editors are looking for freelancers that can write these incredible stories, and they're coming up with Scottsdale content that we know that we're gonna see for months and even years to come. I'm sorry, those were some photos of all these folks milling around our community. So I also want to talk about some of our trade show activations. Those of you who have had the pleasure of being on a trade show floor know that it is booth after booth after booth after booth. They all start to kind of blend together. So our team has been looking for new and unique ways to stand out. And at IMEX America, which is the largest trade show for the global meetings and events industry, we were able to meet with over 40 planners during one-on-one booked appointments, pre-booked appointments. But we also, through this activation that we did with local artist Lauren Lee, she was there on site in our booth. She had painted this, in that third photo, you can see that beautiful suitcase that she hand painted. Plus, she was painting live on site. That's the photo you see in the middle there. And people were coming by to learn more about Lauren, learn about Scottsdale, and enter to win one of those incredible prizes. And with that opportunity, we were able to connect with more than 400 additional meeting planners during the show. Our convention sales team also during the last quarter, of course, we're always bringing clients into the destination. So really pleased we had our Canadian Meeting Planner Familiarization Tour as well as our Scottsdale Meetings Showcase. And that's a little bit of a reverse trade show in that we bring the meeting planners out here and we host a trade show for them where about 40 of our members are able to have those one-on-one type of appointments with them, plus they get to explore the destination. So with that, I want to say thank you so much. Those are just a couple of highlights. There's a lot more listed in the report that you received. And next time, you're going to hear more about our spring training activations, as well as our advertising campaign in Mexico, a first for us, and something we're really excited to share those results as those continue to come in. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Rachel, thank you very much. Very good presentation, very good highlights, great information. I will say that during the SNL 50th. We also
Yes.
had some really good press.
Scotts and Dale.
Dale,
Yes.
yes, exactly. So I just want to kind of point that out because I was sitting on my couch watching and the sketch came on and I was like, oh, well, this would be good. So I was very excited about that, but thank you again for the team and everybody. Rachel Sacco is a gem, and I think the world of all of you. So thank you very much. Commissioners have any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is Arizona Bike Week. This is a funding request for a tax expenditure up to $75,000 to support a one-year event funding agreement with FX Promotions. Lisa, is it Sear?
Madam Chair, just before Lisa starts, just for
Yes.
clarification, the agenda you just went through said $75,000. The requested amount here today is $62,250 based on the funding criteria. Lisa also has that in her presentation as well.
Again, Steve, I'm sorry.
$62,250,
250, got it.
and that's based on our funding criteria.
Wonderful. Thank you for the clarification, Steve. Lisa, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Lisa Sear, and I, along with my partner Christina Anderson, produce Arizona Bike Week. This is our 28th annual event. We're very excited. It continues to grow leaps and bounds over the rate of typical rally growth. Our event is knocking on the door of some of the biggest rallies in the country that have been around 80 years or more. So we're very proud of that fact, and it's a very visual event. You kind of have to see it to fully grasp the energy and excitement. So I do have a little video that I wanted to show you. This is an actual ad that we're running. As you can see, Westworld of Scottsdale is prominently displayed on all of our advertising. And let me see if I can get that. Okay. So that's just a very brief look at our event. We invite you all to come. Thank you. We invite you all to come and experience in person. It's the passion of the riding community is unparalleled. They love their bikes. They love to show off their bikes. They love to look at other bikes. They love to celebrate their leisure activity more than any other group I've ever come across. And they come to have a great time. They come to just enjoy and take it all in. You saw the concerts that we produce are a big part of our event. Music and motorcycles go hand in hand. Most riders love music, second only to their motorcycles. So our concert lineup this year is as dynamic as ever, and it has really helped us to grow our event by doing an all-inclusive, one ticket, get you into everything, including a major concert each night. As I said, we're 28 years old. We started off in '97. It was just a small gathering of local enthusiasts. It's grown massively. The biggest jump our attendance took was in '06 when we started doing nightly concerts. So now we're as much a music festival as we are a motorcycle rally, and that draws a whole different demographic of music lovers. So a lot of people who come to our event aren't necessarily motorcycle enthusiasts, but they are music enthusiasts. So we kind of appeal to a couple of different kind of base audiences. We are a woman-owned and operated business, which is unique in the motorcycle rally world. I think we're the only major motorcycle rally in the country entirely owned and operated by women. Not just myself and my partner, all of our staff, year-round staff at the office are also women. It's not moving. Okay, thank you. It consists, as I said, of two major components. The Power Yard is kind of the heartbeat of our event. That's where all of the daytime activities go on. We got, last year we had 230 vendors. We're still getting applications in. They come in right up until the day of the event. So we hope to end up with a few more than that this year. That's where all of our stunt shows go on, our bike shows, that type of thing. And then the Rock Yard is where the concert goes on. I don't know why it's not clicking. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So as I said, the Power Yard, it's nonstop energy and excitement. Our event schedule has about 170 line items on it right now, and by the time we hit the event, we'll probably have closer to 200. We're still adding items to our event schedule. Daily, we have people who contact us and say they want to come out to the event, they want to do something. So 4 different stunt shows. We have a stunt show that's identical twin brothers performing stunts in the stunt arena. They do a lot of tandem stunts. It's a very unique thing. We have the aerial jumpers who go off a ramp and do their stunts 35 feet in the air. We have the Globe of Death, which is a big steel cage where 2 riders go all around upside down within inches of each other, and it's pretty intense. It's precision riding at its finest for sure. And then we have a new stunt show we brought out because evidently doing stunts on 2 wheels wasn't scary enough. Now we've got electric unicycles coming out. And these are just a wheel with a motor on top, no handlebars, no seat, couple of foot pegs, and they steer completely with their legs and core. And these things go 50 miles an hour, and if that's not scary enough just to try to ride one, they're going to do stunts on it, including jumps in the Equidome. So that's pretty exciting. So just the stunt shows alone are enough to draw people to the event without all of the other things we have. Those are very family-friendly type of activities. The stunt riders all love to see kids around the arena as they go around and they give them all high fives, and it's a really big part of the stunt shows to have the kids at the event. We have live music on multiple stages. We have daily charity rides. Charities are a big part of the biker community. We do factory demo rides. The major motorcycle manufacturers all come out and give free demo rides for people who are looking for a new bike. And we have all kinds of contests and games. We have bike shows. We have more bike shows than we've ever had before. We have some new ones, which is really exciting. We have the legendary Rat's Hole Bike Show. This is the oldest running bike show in the motorcycle community, and it started off as just people participating in this show. Rather than showing off their fancy bikes, they were showing off their rat bikes. So the one rule of this event, and this is the only bike show I'm aware of, that it has to run. So you have to start it in order to be in the show. Other than that, they've expanded the show now to include more custom bikes and things like that, but the heart of that event is really the rat bikes that come into it. So it's very prestigious for us to get that show here. It might not sound prestigious. In the motorcycle community, it's a big nod to us being a major player in the rally world. So we're excited to have that. We have several other new shows coming in as well. I'll talk about some of those a little later. The Rock Yard is our concert arena. We, as you saw in the video, this year's lineup is Jackal, Stone Temple Pilots, Mudvayne, and Five Finger Death Punch. And these are all very big names in the rock world. We offer a very reasonably priced ticket to see these concerts. What we try to do is create a situation where people who may not be able to afford to go to 4 concerts in a week are able to do that with our concert series. Our 5-day pass is about $100, and so you can't go see a concert for $100 anywhere. We do this by making it all-inclusive, by making it, spreading the costs across all of our attendees. It helps keep those ticket prices down. Your funding helps us to keep those ticket prices down. This is how we've gotten to grow the event as quickly as we have, faster than any other rally has grown in history, is because we're offering tremendous value to get people in, to get people to come out and check it out, to get people to travel and explore more, have more funds left over to go do other things. Our attendees are explorers. They get out, they see the city. They don't come and stay in one place. These are our out-of-area attendance statistics. We had a big jump last year. I think we were at 44% out of area in 23, and last year it was 54%. So we kind of broke that halfway mark of over half of our attendees being from out of Maricopa County. And 47% of those out-of-area visitors stayed in Scottsdale hotels. So we did a total, this is based on our survey. We do a post-event survey, and these are calculations based on that. We had a sample size of 770 surveys. Counted for 5,579 room nights, and the median daily spending was $339. We also sell out all of the campgrounds at Westworld. We take over, handle the administration, the registration, reservations, and the check-in process, because we have massive numbers of people coming in all in one day. So it's easiest for us to staff it rather than putting that burden onto Westworld. So we take those all over, we buy out all the lots. We have them add over 200 temporary RV spaces. So we end up with, I think, close to 600 RV spaces, and we usually have about 100 tent campers as well. All of those room nights are subject to bed tax. So all of those fees that we're collecting for the campsites do produce bed tax. The impact survey that the city of Scottsdale did this year estimated a $15.2 million visitor expenditures related back to Arizona Bike Week. Our consumers tend to be in their mid-40s, 58% male. They like to do all sorts of outdoor adventure activities. We're incorporating more and more vendors for off-road types of activities and camping and that kind of thing. And they also enjoy shopping and dining. We've gotten to be known as kind of the rally for the elite biker. So the professional who likes to ride on the weekends, they come to our rally because Westworld is nice, it's clean. Most of the other rallies are not in nice locations. They're dirty, they're muddy, the porta-johns are bad. So they do like to come to Scottsdale where they can get some upscale amenities. They love the fine dining and shopping and that sort of thing. We employ geofencing and ticketing data to get our attendance tracking done. And as I said, we're growing quite quickly. We did have a rough weather year in '24, unfortunately, which we never have the first week of April. But it rained and it was cold. And it did affect our local attendance, not our out-of-state attendance. We're fair weather riders here in the Phoenix area because we can afford to be. So the people who live here locally just decided not to come out as many times. And we're hoping to be back on track with our perfect April weather this year so we can start growing our attendance at the rate that it's been growing. 2027 will be our 30th anniversary. Anniversary years are really big in the rally world, so we're expecting a big jump in attendance on that year. Our funding request, as Steve said, is for $62,250. $10,000 of that is for SEO, SEM, web development that, our company operates 51 weeks out of the year on the internet and 1 week out of the year on site. So those are really important elements to get the word out, to make sure that people are finding us. Digital advertising, we incorporate all forms of digital advertising, everything you can think of. I couldn't begin to rattle them all off. We hire experts to do that. Everybody, you might be an expert in one part of Google, one element of Google, and it's very complicated. It continues to get more complicated. I continue to hear terminology from our contractors that I haven't heard before, and they continue to educate us on new and different ways. They're asking questions online and answering them, so when somebody else asks that question, there's an answer that comes up. So they're utilizing AI, they're utilizing every avenue you can think of, and they're constantly schooling us in what we need to do to continue to target and retarget people. We're also bringing in flat track racing. We used to have flat track racing. It kind of tends to ebb and flow in popularity. Motorcycle racing is huge in California, and consistently. Here, it goes up and down in popularity. We're bringing back flat track racing because we're seeing a resurgence of popularity, and it's a really good way for us to activate the Equidome. We try to activate as many spaces at Westworld as possible. So this is going to be a really good way of utilizing that space, bringing people into the Equidome. They sit down, they watch flat track racing. The company that we've contracted with is also incorporating some fun races, bike games, blindfolded races, jousting, limbo, things like that, to keep it a little bit lighthearted as well. This is our total marketing campaign. We put most of our marketing into digital, a little bit into print. The only reason we're doing as much print as we're still doing is because our publication, The Guide to Ride, is a souvenir for our attendees. We distribute it about 6 weeks before the event. It's going out right now, and it goes to Harley-Davidson dealerships all over the country. They put it out for their customers. It drives them to the dealerships. People go collect their Guide to Ride. They want to know what's going on before they get here. So people have been collecting those since the first event. So we can't stop printing it even if we wanted to. We do an e-edition, but they want that paper edition to add to the collection. Other than that, we put most of our effort into digital. We do have a massive marketing campaign, and we are getting millions of impressions. Social media is still huge for advertising. It is really the best bang for your buck, but we do all sorts of other streaming, that sort of thing. And as I said, we do have some print distribution as well. Community impact, as I said, the biker community loves a charity. They're all about brotherhood and generosity. They're very philanthropic. They're just good people. So we do charity rides. We do make donations. We do auctions and that sort of thing. And any way we can help out the different charities, we're ready to reach out and do that. So to add to our diversity this year, we have incorporated a VICLA bike show. VICLA is the Mexican-American nod to motorcycle customization. They're very unique in that they're all works of art. A lot of custom engraving, a lot of detailed airbrush. They're almost like murals on wheels. When we reached out to somebody, a gentleman named Clay, about doing a VICLA show, he was so excited. He's so high energy. He's an influencer, and he's already got over 100 bikes signed up for this show. A typical first-year bike show, you're lucky to get about 25 bikes in it. So, and there's also no incentive to pre-register for a bike show, so most people don't. So we could easily have 200 bikes in this first-year VICLA bike show. We're very excited about that. Most of the trends, motorsports trends, come out of California, and this is no exception. This was started by the Chicano community in Southern California, and it is sweeping the nation. We're already seeing other events. We were the first to advertise the VICLA bike show. We're already seeing other rallies start to advertise that they're doing VICLA bike shows now. So we do like to be trendsetters, and you know, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. But so the VICLA bike show is very exciting. We also have a Native American charity ride, the Thunderbird Throttle. And these are all helping us reach different demographics. Again, our request is for $62,250 because there was a change in the criteria that didn't allow us to apply for the full $75,000. I do feel that our event, being the size it is, being the second largest event at Westworld, we're doing the attendance in 5 days that other events are getting in 10 days. So I respectfully request that you would consider the full $75,000. I'm not really fully understanding the new criteria, but I did adhere to it because that's what it said. I do feel that we're doing a considerable amount of international advertising. All of our digital is international, but evidently that was the change in the funding criteria that didn't allow us to get the full 75. But I want to thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much, Lisa. I appreciate that. Steve, can you just speak to that for just a moment?
Yeah, it's as Lisa said, it's based on the international criteria we put in. There's a percentage amount based on how much the actual spend is related to the total marketing budget, and then we utilize that, and it was more beneficial actually to get the 6250 is to move away from that international side of it. So that was put in, as you may recall, going into this fiscal year because it just balanced out better. So that's why it's reduced.
Got it. Okay, thank you, Steve. Commissioners have any questions?
I'd like to say something. I actually had the opportunity to attend last year. I've never attended before, and oh my gosh, there was a lot going on. And I know you mentioned some of the charities you support, but one of the reasons I attended is because you guys donated to a veterans organization that I support and gave them space to be there all weekend to support veterans. So something you didn't mention that I thought was very cool, and I'm sorry for the weather last year. It was awful.
It'll be better this year.
But wow, what a big energy-filled event. So congratulations, ladies. You did a great job.
Thank you very much.
Commissioners have any other comments? Go ahead.
I have one question. About 6 slides back, you were talking about the percentages of people out of town. I was confused on what percentage of what, the percentage of what number? Was it that unique out-of-town visitor number, or was it of the 95,000?
It was a percentage of our ticket purchases.
So $100 per ticket, and you sold, was it 95,000?
We didn't sell 95,000 tickets because we have a lot of 5-day tickets. I can't recall, 38,000, does that sound right to you, the number of tickets we sold?
I guess I was just trying to get the number of people that stay in hotels, and I couldn't decipher it from that.
Oh, okay.
Is that a first-timer, a unique?
No, the unique is as opposed to attendance is based on people who came through the gates every year, and then because we do sell a lot of 5-day tickets, people make multiple visits. So the unique visitors from out of town was 12,000 and whatever that number was. And so, you know, our unique total visitors was like double that. So, but they do use those 5-day passes an average of about 2.5 times, so.
I think I'm still confused, but I don't want to bore everybody with my confusion, so that's fine. Thank you.
I just have one question. Very impressive longevity and revenue to the community. Thank you very much. I'm curious, do you have you talk about the escalation of the event over the next few years, but you also say you're using 200 temporary spaces. Do you have the capacity and what you need to grow to that 150,000 North Star factor? And again, it seems like you're being creative with the VICLA and the Native American and trying to continue to grow that, which is also impressive. I'm just curious on space, how you basically would add another 10 or 15,000 per day to get there.
So with the campsites that we're selling out at Westworld right now, we've got anywhere between 2,000 and 3,000 people staying on site the whole week. So far, those campsites, based on when we're selling out, we know that we have enough RV campsites. Moving forward, we may be building additional temporary lots to accommodate. There are some camping lots that are not available to us at Westworld because there are temporary barns on them that they don't want to take down. That's something, you know, I think there's an O-lot. I can't recall how many exactly spaces there are in there. I think around 40, but so there are some other permanent pedestals that we aren't able to utilize that maybe down the road we could, or we could add additional temporary lots. We also have a lot of hotel visitors, and we continue to build on our hotel website. We outsource to Crew Fair, our hotel partner, and they create a site for us. And so, okay.
Lisa, thank you again for your presentation, and thank you for your time. It is a marvelous event. It's been here a very, very long time, so I applaud you and your team, being an all-woman team. I applaud that too. So thank you very much. The item on the agenda is an ask for $62,250, and we will entertain a motion at that amount. Do we have a motion?
I move to fund the $62,250.
Very good. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, Steve. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Next item on the agenda is the 2026 Women's Final Four funding. This is a presentation and a commission discussion regarding the forthcoming funding request to support the region's effort in hosting the 2026 NCAA Women's Final Four. Kyle Hedstrom, Phoenix Final Four Local Organizing Committee. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for having us here today. It feels great, just coming back from New York recently, to be back in the other city that never sleeps, as SNL mentioned. My name is Kyle Hedstrom, and I'm here today to get you excited, informed, and ready for the 2026 NCAA Women's Final Four. Before I do that, just a couple interesting notes. This is the 6th major event that Arizona will be hosting in the last 12 years, which is a record. And Scottsdale has been a major part of all of those. So thank you ahead of time and retroactively for that support. So just a little bit about us. We are a 501c3 that has continued on from the men's Final Four, which was last year. And we're about 409 days away in terms of the 2026 Final Four, when it will be here. And we've already begun the planning for the tournament and for the Final Four when it comes, and we're sure it's going to be an amazing event again. Our guiding principles do not change depending on the event. There are three: showcase Arizona on a global platform, hosting these major events. It's commercial for Arizona. It's a commercial for all of our cities here, and all of our amazing amenities. Fuel the economic engine for the region, right? When these events come through, there's obviously a tremendous economic impact and a direct impact on our local businesses and vendors and the tourism industry, of course. And then leave the lasting legacy. This is a 1 week of time that we're talking about, but we want to make sure that we're capitalizing on that opportunity and driving back community support and giving that will long outlast the 2026 Final Four week. So just a little bit about some of the results. This will be our first time hosting the Women's Final Four, and why that's important is that for us to continue our track record with the NCAA, we need to continue to do that well. We've done that well, as I mentioned, 6 times over the last 12 years. So we need to continue to do that, and we're already looking at those metrics or those KPIs that we want to make sure that we're keeping in our targets to meet or exceed as we look at as what has been done in the past. Won't go through all of these, but I think the ticket price and the viewership is very interesting. Both of those are on par with the men's Final Four. And in fact, viewership did exceed men's on the championship game. So tremendous amount of impact, a tremendous amount of commitment that it takes and that we give back to the community through the event as it comes through in 2026. And we want to continue to show NCAA that we can meet these challenges and rise to the opportunity so that they can continue to bring their championship events back to Arizona. So getting into some data and taking a quick look at some of the tourism data around the 2024 men's Final Four. It continues to show a trend of incremental success for Scottsdale. Again, won't go through all of this, but through some third-party data, we can see that the incremental hotel and short-term rental tax for 2024. This is looking at the 2024 Final Four weekend and comparing it to the same weekend the year prior. We are looking at a $581,000 incremental tax dollars that were driven back to the city of Scottsdale. So tremendous in terms of the results and a tremendous partnership with the city to drive a lot of that. And then as we look ahead to 2026 and the women's Final Four, there is a large room block in place with a couple other things that I'll touch on in a minute. So we look ahead and get excited for some additional success in 26. A little bit on the marketing inclusion. Want to highlight some of the continued partnership and planning elements from here on through, and these are elements that we've built over these past 12 years in partnership with the city and with our partners at Experience Scottsdale, finding ways that we are enhancing the event, we're driving the message, and we're engaging residents and visitors alike. So obviously our website, it's a #1 destination for anyone that's going to be Googling 2026 Women's Final Four. So incorporating the city into that with a phenomenal travel information and ability to plan your trip to Arizona. Marketing Communications Council, this is something that we set up a couple years back where we have a collection of all the cities and a few other key stakeholders who are part of this council and guide the marketing communications plan leading all the way up to the Final Four. And of course, social media, rounding that out, a lot of opportunity there. Some of it we saw as we had a phenomenal bridge activation over the canal for men's Final Four, where we really tapped into that and drove some competitions and some really good engagement. So community engagement. The trophy tour is similar to what we've done in the past, but we are able to bring this to select Scottsdale events. So that's the trophy. We'll be doing giveaways. There is a sweepstakes, all kinds of fun ways to engage the event attendees. We've got the Read to the Final Four. This is a phenomenal program. My daughter, who goes to Cochise, she'll finally be a third grader. This program is run specifically targeting third graders. So as a dad, you can imagine I'm very excited to both be working on this and hopefully encouraging my daughter to read 1 million minutes. There were 20 million minutes for 2024, so we're looking ahead to engaging as many Scottsdale schools and schools across the state as we possibly can. So we did a phenomenal job. We've continued that on. So this will be our 3rd year in a row running this program. Incredible engagement and support across the state from both private and public sectors. Our Business Connect program is our supplier diversity initiative, which is women, veteran, minority, and LGBTQ businesses that can qualify if they provide event-related services. So we focus on bringing them together and providing them opportunities to network, to receive bids or opportunities to bid on projects, and overall the year engage with them. There were about 20 plus businesses, Scottsdale businesses, as part of that program last year. Volunteers, can't do any of these events without a very large volunteer base. We continue to see amazing engagement from across the state for volunteers. I'm sure all of you have seen that. 20% of our volunteers actually came from Scottsdale, so we love that. We want to continue to make sure that that opportunity is presented and we have that continued engagement. The last one here is unique and very exciting. We've been working with, as I mentioned, our partners at Experience Scottsdale to identify a team hotel here in Scottsdale that will host one of the women's teams that will be part of the Final Four. So we're working on that right now, and we'll work also to collaborate on ways to engage and welcome that group, because that is the team, the band, the sponsors, the administration, and a very large group. So very exciting as we hone in on where those team hotels will be. Events and planning, long list here again, stay with me here. FAM trip, we will host the NCAA, the media, in this case the broadcast partner is ESPN, and all of the sponsors related to the NCAA this summer. So making sure that as you all can identify the Scottsdale representative to be included in that FAM trip, so that we are representing the state as a whole to the NCAA, the ESPN, and all the sponsors, and talking about the great Scottsdale venues or opportunities in terms of experiences that they can have as they're looking to finalize their plans for 2026. So kind of similar with the Scottsdale venues and the NCAA planning trips, we want to make sure that we're putting those opportunities in front of all these folks ahead of time, and then reiterating that as we're doing and going through our planning. We also want to host the NCAA at a planning event here in Scottsdale. We did that last year. It was phenomenal. They loved it. And just make sure that we're highlighting as many venues and experiences as we can throughout the planning. CEO Forum is one that personally I really enjoy. This one is where we're inviting CEOs from around the country to come to Arizona and learn why this is a great place to move your business. So we'll be hosting that program again around the 2026 Final Four, and are exploring hosting that program at a Scottsdale resort. Again, a ton of opportunities to engage with not only those CEOs, but our partners and everyone that is a part of that. So the last two here, the Legends and Legacy Reception and NCAA Salute, these are two specific events that we will be hoping the NCAA execute. So finding great spot venue and/or experiences around these will be incredibly important as we lead up to the event. The Legends and Legacy are just local legends, highlighting them and giving them the recognition for what they have done in the year past as it might relate to college or the NCAA or women's basketball. And then the NCAA salute is excuse me, hosting players and the NCAA committee that dictates women's basketball for a night. And it's a very unique and local experience that we want to put together. And so continue to work on those two and identifying the best place to host them. The last bit is just some of the Scottsdale access that we would include. This is, mimicked after what we've done in past events, but we've got several different hospitality elements and events that we will be hosting leading up to the Final Four, but of course the Final Four games and the championship, including tickets, tailgate, and access across the board. And that is it. Flew through that. So look forward, as I said, this is going to be the 6th major event in 12 years, something that no other city or state has accomplished. And through all of them, the City of Scottsdale has been a tremendous partner. So we want to continue that, continue our relationship, and we want to continue to work together with you all and execute a record-breaking Final Four. So with that, any questions?
Thank you very much, Kyle. Appreciate your presentation. Steve, do we have a number that they're looking for in general yet, or?
We do, as I recall, it's around 220,000
Okay.
For support. And staff will be coming back at a future meeting with some analysis related to that.
Okay.
The deliverables, more numbers on rooms, those kind of things, like similar to what we did for the men's Final Four.
Sure.
So we'll be coming back with that number and a request for funding.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the clarification,
And
Commissioner.
I should note the request amount's probably half of what the men's was. So it's been reduced
Okay.
for the women's.
Okay, very good. Commissioners have questions, comments?
Just one more ignorant moment from me. Is the game in Glendale or is it in Phoenix?
The game is at the Sons of Mercury Arena
Oh, okay.
downtown.
It's at footprint. Okay, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you again. Thanks. Next item on the agenda is the tourism funding request for the Stadium CIP project for 2024-2025 and future year 25-26. The presentation and discussion and possible recommendation to include up to a total of $6.6 million funding for year 24-25 and 25-26. Tourism Development Fund for the Scottsdale Center Field berm, the scoreboard, the Gate A entry plaza, and Day Park Capital Project. Chris Walsh, Parks and Recreation Manager, and Croy Ekba, Strategic Projects Staff Contact. Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. And
That's a lot to say, so thank you.
Good morning. You covered it
Thanks.
just to the
Thanks
T.
very much.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, so once again, I'm Chris Walsh, Parks and Recreation Manager. I oversee the Scottsdale Stadium team who facilitates and maintains the Scottsdale Stadium. So I know I was presented at last month's meeting, and a few of you were able to attend and go out and walk our recent completed left field berm project. And I'll take you through first maybe some history, and then kind of looking forward on what we're looking to get done. So really in 2015, we began discussions with the Giants and the Scottsdale Charros in regards to kind of long-term goals for everyone. For the Giants, obviously, it was professional baseball improvements. We started some of those improvements actually in 2017, 2018. Fan experience enhancements, facility maintenance, operation updates, just kind of bringing the facility up to speed on certain areas. And in 2019, we reached the new baseball facilities agreement, which includes the city, the San Francisco Giants, and the Scottsdale Charros. And in 2020, so while that contract was signed in 2019, we went right to work. We had 10 months to complete Phase 1, which was really our 42,000 square foot clubhouse, which involves the 10,000 square foot of our field house space, which is our multi-use space, our banyan room space, which is on the 3rd level, some press level renovations, and some other improvements that were a little bit smaller along the way. In 2023, we started our Phase 2, and really the reason for that gap was obviously COVID had set us on a pause there. But in 2023, we had completed the first base deck and the third base concession pads, and I've got an aerial to kind of highlight those. And in this 2024, we started to work on the left field berm, the deck, and the restroom, and the day park, which is what some of you had toured last month. So, and what we're looking to do, starting here potentially in April, would be the Phase 2, what we would call Phase 2C, which is really the continuation of the left field berm and day park over to the batter's eye with the Gate A plaza improvements, which really is kind of the final element of the project. So here before you on the left side of the screen, just highlighted some areas from 2017, 2023. Again, this represents, just how much of an impact we've made. We've almost touched the entire campus of the stadium. On the left side, the two half fields, those were done right around the winter time of 2017. 2018, we moved just to the south of those two half fields. We improved some protection to the homes to the east with 80-foot poles and netting. And then we moved just to the west of that practice field with our 42,000 square foot clubhouse and operations building for our staff, press level renovations, the first base patios included. And then on that third base side, that little blue strip, that was really an improvement to help kind of increase circulation for fans and provide a space for our vendors during spring training and even during special events. So, and then on the right side, 2017, 2026 really paints the larger picture. The highlighted yellow areas is really what is now just our left field berm / deck, day park, which will be available to all spring training guests starting in just a few days. So we open the season on Sunday, and we're really excited. So what I'm really here to talk to you about today is the green portion, the lime green portion, is the continuation of what would be an elevated concourse and plaza, as well as the Gate A improvements. And as you can see, the parking lot that is all the way up on the top of your screen there, that is part of a Bond 2019 voter-approved project to increase parking in that back lot. So we thought it would be wise. There's probably some construction efficiencies there to run those two projects together, but that is a separately funded project as part of the bond. So again, just some photos for those of you that may not be familiar. That's the upper left is the new Giants clubhouse / locker room, which we're able to kind of give tours of, and people really enjoy it when they're coming to look to host their event. And then down on the lower right-hand side, the corner there is really kind of our anchor event center, which is 10,000 square foot. And I'm sure some of you probably have taken part of those conversations back in 2019, or maybe even been an attendee at our event hosted here. These are just some examples of our multi-use inside of our field house. So we do everything from trade shows to small conferences to really large gala events. Our first base patio, that was again completed in 2024. We use this for a number of different things. We used it for the Pac-12 baseball tournament. The Giants obviously use this during spring training, whether it's a single day ticket or maybe it's a group type sales package. But this is a really popular space. Before we had built this space, we had just simply some aluminum bleachers that, you know, while they were okay seats for spring training, you know, I think the fans and the competitive nature of Cactus League baseball facilities now, fans are looking for something a little bit different, as well as, you know, our event clients throughout the remainder of the year just really want to be outside and enjoy the great Arizona weather. So this space has been a very popular space throughout the year for hosting conference lunches or even smaller events. So it's right sized between the field house and our Charro Lodge. So it just goes to show that we've really concentrated and really tried to figure out a way to make sure that things not only work for spring training, but also for us throughout the remainder of the year. The left field berm is opening on Sunday. We're super excited. We've got the covered deck there, as you can see, and then we've got about 35 trees out on that berm for the remainder of the year. And our intent is to open this as soon as spring training concludes, so folks can come in while the stadium is unreserved and the facility is staffed to, you know, come in, grab a bite to eat, have your lunch, maybe read a book there. I think our staff are talking with the library folks about, you know, maybe bringing some of the kiddos over and having some story times over there, since it's, you know. So we're really excited. We've always got folks around the stadium that are trying to peek through the gates and things like that. So this will provide an opportunity for those that are in the Old Town area to come in, watch our grounds crew, maybe see what's going on at the stadium. So, and this is these two illustrations are really just the concept that we had during the design phase and kind of what we delivered on. So I feel like you know, we did exactly what we said we were going to do, so it's pretty exciting to see how it turned out. Just a few more renderings. Okay, so the center field berm day park project, Gate A improvements. What that essentially does for us is it connects the left field berm through over to kind of our batter's eye area, which provides improved ADA access. Right now, the left field berm, the hardscape there just is pretty much stops, and you run into kind of the grassy berm there. So, you know, it brings the elevation up, provides some additional viewing corridors. It also allows us then throughout the year to be able to open up Gate F off of Drinkwater and have those folks flow through and exit out onto 75th Street. And with the parking lot project, you know, we looked at maybe some potential ways to also improve Gate A. So, you know, if we've got additional parking back here, we've got pretty limited parking in the front of Osborne parking lot for events. So typically they use the parking garage between us and the Civic Center library. So, you know, it would certainly enhance that sense of arrival. Right now, we do have a gate back there, but it's tucked away, and it's really adjacent to our two trash compactors and some kind of back of house space. So not necessarily the most inviting gate. It is utilized, it does function, it does serve a purpose during spring, but we felt like with our growing event business at the stadium, we could you know, utilize this and take some of the pressure off both the parking garage and our front gate there. So just some renderings. The top left is the looking from the north back towards the field, and right now we do have a small walkway that leads out onto the grass berm, but again, you can kind of see the connection there that would be from essentially the batter's eye all the way over to left field berm. So, and we would actually gain we would definitely gain some viewing corridor space as well as just some functional space for not only spring training, but our special events throughout the year. And the Giants are currently exploring replacing the scoreboard. So if that was the case, we would want to elevate that board so you have some viewing corridor underneath there and keep that pedestrian flow going. Just some additional renderings looking from the field, kind of that connection piece. Right now, we lose that hardscape connection at the end of our new left field berm patio space. So, and I'm sure you all have some questions. Be happy to answer any of those.
Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate the presentation. Commissioners have questions.
I just have one question. I don't even know if it's that we speak about, do we know the revenues of this stadium to like how much you make on on 24 or 23? Like I don't know if that's something we talk about for this amount of money or if that's something that's discussed somewhere else.
Yeah, so our revenues are derived from a number of different avenues, right? So we've got, as part of the new agreement, we've got the Giants reimbursement. We've got some reimbursement from the Charros as well, as far as the maintenance and operation and expense to maintain the facility throughout the year. They've also put in capital dollars as well as our food and beverage partners as part of this phase 1 project. But, you know, typically outside of that, we're right around $750,000 in revenue from special events, food and beverage packages. And, you know, our staff, they are small but mighty. They're a dedicated team of professionals that are always looking at ways to continue to activate the stadium and really balance out what we can do creatively, whether it's an internal event or something that we partner, you know, from an event host with, so.
Lance, thanks so much for your questions. Steve, if you could just give us just a bit of clarification on the ask. I know it's a split for funding.
I'm going to let Rachel address that.
Oh, please, Rachel. Yep.
Chair and Commission, actually, we have been crunching numbers all weekend, so if I may call Judy Doyle, Senior Director of Operations for all of our best places in Scottsdale. She may have the most up-to-date information.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Yes, I'm Judy Doyle. Yeah, we were crunching some numbers over the weekend, and unfortunately, I don't have what that overall split would be. We are looking at potentially just asking for the general fund portion in fiscal year 24-25, which is about $3.3 million. And then that tourism funds potentially in 25-26. The Stadium Facility Fund is also going to contribute $1 million to the project. But as I said, we're still trying to talk with our capital project management team to confirm that we can split that over the 2 fiscal years. So overall, the project is almost $11 million. $6.6 million would be from the Tourism Development Fund.
Very good. And also, too, with the bond, there was a mention of bond funding that was going to facilitate some of the cost. Is that inclusive of the 6.6, or is that?
Chair and members of the commission, the reference to the bond funding was for phase 1 of the project, which has been completed.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Commissioners have questions.
I have a question. It looked like it started in 2019. And
Correct.
It's 2025 now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do easy math, said 7 years. So if we were to do the payback on $750,000, in the next 6 years, are we going to have to start this project all over again and just be getting paid off, and then start another $6 million project? I'm just a little concerned at how it pays itself off and how we benefit, especially when we don't have all the metrics, so everyone can make a business decision here.
And certainly, and that's a great question, and certainly, you know, we have our revenue that continues to come in, but we also have, I think, some indirect benefits, right, from hotel room nights, the impact of spring training. And, you know, this, to finalize this project, and I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that we'll never do anything again, but this really kind of completes our loop of the property. Now, there's some other capital projects that, you know, upkeep of the stadium and things like that, but really this is, you know, what we've always been working towards as part of the, you know, what started as the 2015 master plan, so.
Real quick, so with this, with these projects, is there any more opportunity for ticket sales? Because it looks like there's gonna be more accessible seating and things like that. So does this increase your ability to maybe bring in more revenue?
Yeah, and, you know, while I think we'll discuss that with the Giants, there's certainly enhanced viewing. I can't tell you today, you know, if our attendance or if our max capacity would go from 12 to 12,250, you know, because it's also about experience, right? You know, but we'll certainly, that's certainly something to look at as we move through this, so.
I was just going to say, I mean, it's 750 per year, but let's be honest, it's probably half of that when you take out the cost of what it takes to operate that facility. I think I would like to see what the impact is for spring training, what the impact is to the community in fairness to making this large of a decision for this long of a term. I don't disagree that it's a very important part of the community, but I think in fairness we should see what that number is of how many hotel nights or what that spring training is, like we do for every other person that comes in front of us that is asking for far less money. That's just my opinion, but that's how I would look at it.
Thank you very much. Steve, can you speak to that?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, the latest report we've received is 2023, I believe, it's correct. There was, in that report, as I recall, there was nothing specifically drawn out from the Scottsdale Stadium. The last one I saw was from 2018, which did have numbers. That's kind of dated, but we have some economic impact numbers associated with Scottsdale Stadium, specifically from 2018.
In a lot of cases, I have a tendency to agree with what Commissioner Marin just said with regards to the numbers and the figures and everything else to substantiate, you know, a 6.6 ask of the stadium. Now, the stadium is a huge resource to our city and to our community, and a huge driver to, you know, everything that we have within our city. There's so much that goes into spring training. I just think we need a bit more information, Steve, honestly.
So there's no pen, you'd rather have more information prior to making a recommendation? Is that to clarify?
I think we need a bit more information, and if the commissioners have any other opinions or any other questions, please
I have one other question as well. I think our major competitors here, too, I'd like to see how we compete against Sloan Park and Salt River Fields, which I think we all know are the three, you know, most popular venues for spring training, and see what that economic impact is to us versus, you know, those competitors, and see what we can do in the future if we're going to make this investment to be on par with what they have as well.
To address that, I can send out the latest report to the commission following this meeting.
Okay, that'd be great, Steve. Thank you. Croy, is there anything else that you would like to add to any of this information?
Excuse us, Chair and Commission. It's a bit of a timing issue. As you know, we want to do a project so that it will be finished in time for spring training next year. And so I think that understanding if bringing it back in another whole month will work for continuing the project in 25, 26.
Good morning. My name's Croy Ekblaw. I work on strategic projects for the city of Scottsdale. Chair and members of the commission will be able to come back and provide more detailed responses to those questions. I think we have good information for you on those. The date of the next meeting is March 18th. I think we can make that work as far as with the council dates. We'll probably be going that evening to the council for the issuance of the contract. And I think if we have everything lined up and in order, I think we would be able to move that forward then with the same time frame.
Okay, that sounds great. Do you need a motion on this, Steve, to continue? Okay. Okay, very good. Croy, thank you very much. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, everybody, for the presentation, the information. Thanking my commissioners for all of their great questions and care and concern on this project. Thank you. We look forward to hearing about it in March. The next item on the agenda is the Scottsdale Jazz Festival, new event funding request, presentation and commission discussion, and possible recommendation to council for bed tax expenditure up to $30,000 to support a one-year event funding agreement with International Jazz Day Arizona Foundation. Doc Jones will be here to present. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning, Commission. Good morning, Chairperson Alspa, Vice Chair. Thank you for hearing us this morning as we present to you. I also want to express some sincere thanks to the extraordinary city staff who has helped us navigating this process, and we love and appreciate because they work incredibly hard every day on behalf of this great community, and we want to express our sincere thanks to them. It's been an interesting, lots of changes at the city right now, and we want them to know how much we appreciate their work. I think I know everybody here, but just in case, I'm Gert Wüstermann, President and CEO of Scottsdale Arts. I'm here in a small supporting role because we joined our friends at the Jazz Festival this year as the location partner. So I'll fade back in a second and I think operate the clicker. But I want to introduce to you the man behind Jazz Festival. I've known him since I've been here almost 7 years now, and he has really worked on behalf of jazz in this community and across the valley for many decades, often starting grassroots and then moving forward to really make sure that jazz has its rightful place here in Arizona. So I'll turn it over to my friend William Doc Jones.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Gert. I'm sorry.
Good morning, council. And once again, we want to thank everybody. Steve has really worked with us for a number of years now. As you know, and I'll get this clicker ready to go, what is the Scottsdale Jazz Festival? Scottsdale Jazz Festival, first of all, brings attention to this art form that was created here in America and exported all over the world. My base and my foundation and blueprint is from New Orleans, and New Orleans has started with 300 people 40 years ago, and now over 100,000 people show up. So one of the things that we want to bring attention to is that we have an opportunity to grow and become a national destination for this art form called jazz. Introducing the purpose. Who I am, my name is William Doc Jones. I've been a musician and educator for over 40 years. And one of the things that I'm proud of is that we have a nonprofit organization, 501c3, that has been doing things all over the city, really over the state, in terms of helping young people keep going in this art form. My relationship with Herbie Hancock and United Nations has turned out to be something special. They started 12 years ago, and now 196 countries on International Jazz Day have some kind of event going. I don't know if this is... Is this where it started?
And I'd like to congratulate Doc Jones and the International Jazz Day AZ Foundation for their great work bringing International Jazz Day celebrations to the state of Arizona. On behalf of UNESCO and the Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz, I wish you success. Most of all, have a happy International Jazz Day.
And I don't know where to go from there. I guess the partnership, as we just said, for years I've been working to get this relationship with the Scottsdale Arts because of their great work that they've done. And once we join forces, we have an opportunity to truly bring the whole state involved in what we're doing in terms of just not jazz is a big genre. There's a lot of different parts to jazz, Latin jazz, smooth jazz, the whole scenario. So that's one of the things. So this collaboration with him brings our event now to a next level. And I guess one of the things here is the type of talent. This year we was able to bring in a 12-time Grammy Award winner, which is Rick Brown and Richard Elliott. This group up under them, Turning Point, they're well known all over the world, and they joined us for the first time this year. Projected attendance, we know this year we hit, last year we hit 2,700. We had to stop selling tickets. We're going to be up around 3,000. So we're looking forward to growing that. Marketing, I have a person that I brought on to help me with marketing, and she would just say a little things, a few words. Alicia, will you mind say just a few words about our marketing strategy?
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. My name's Alicia Haygood. I'm helping with marketing for the Scottsdale Jazz Festival this year. My background is in marketing and television production for 20 years, so I'm bringing my values and resources to this festival. We are working with our local TV stations to get him on-air segments starting last week leading up through March and then April. We have Channel 10 that is ready to air and segment every single weekend for 4 weeks in a row to get the repetition and remind people to buy tickets. We are working with the City Lifestyle Luxury brand to get them into every magazine here in the Valley, from Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Chandler, Gilbert, Ahwatukee, Tempe, Surprise, Tucson, and more. There's 12 publications. They're all going to put something in their magazine to promote the event, as well as pictures of the event post to show the fun to lead up to want to buy tickets for next year as well. Social media and influencers are being involved to try to bring more awareness as well with it. We're doing more Google ads to bring in some more national and international. As we all know, Chicago, New Orleans, we have a lot of visitors from there. They are massive jazz fans, so we are targeting our audience and marketing towards them to bring them into the city for out-of-state tourism. We're working on podcasting. We've done editorials in the magazine, radio spots, commercials as well. So that's how we're using our local and national resources to bring more awareness to Scottsdale Jazz Festival to get more people here.
This is the reason that I do what I do. Once again, International Jazz Day AZ Foundation works with inner city kids as well as young people that want to learn this music. We don't teach them to become professional musicians, but just allow them to be able to tap into their creative energies on that. How did I wind up in Scottsdale? You know, I've been doing things all over the state really for the last 14 years. But I was introduced to a gentleman, his name is Max. Max Romberg, I just want to just say something quick to them. Max is the former president of the Rotary Club, as well as Sister Cities. And this is my mentor, and this is the reason that I do what I do, because of Max.
As Doc says, I'm Max Rumbaugh. I've been before the commission before, and I've been able to watch it grow and succeed. This year, one of the things I thought we should mention to you is the fact that we're going to, Doc is going to lead a group of musicians from the Valley, including one from Chicago, to go into Sonora, Mexico, in order to promote the Scottsdale Jazz Festival. It'll be March the 12th through the 17th. The plan is to hit 3 cities down there in order to get more awareness of jazz and more awareness of the Scottsdale Jazz Festival down in that area. And I guess I could also say I've had the pleasure of working with Doc for the last several years, and say that he delivers. And I think that you'll see that that'll happen if you support his mission again this year. Thank you.
This is a financial summary. Doctor, you mind to go through the financial summary for us?
Sure. We created a very solid and very conservative budget for the event. As you can see, we expect that our total event expenses are running right around 165,000 for the year. So the ask we're making of the commission at 30,000 is right in line with, I think, where we are in terms of event expenses. Last year last year was a bit of a breakout year for the event. I think we by far exceeded that goal. But I think for this year, we again wanted to under ask and over deliver, hopefully at the end of the year.
That under ask part, they had to really work with me to bring that ask down. And the reason is that we're now at the threshold of turning this into a major event. And I understand why they was asked me to, to bring it down, and that was because of our marketing budget. Our marketing budget was only $20,000. But 2 weeks ago, our title sponsor has pledged to put $65,000 into my marketing budget. So we now have a solid marketing budget, and I will ask the commission to consider possibly the funds that you did last year, and if it's a possibility that you will, I can turn this into a really big event this year. Thank you. Marketing, some supporters, of course you know Rachel, and the new CEO of the Fiesta Bowl last year did commercials for us and did a great job, which helped push us over there. He was on the board of directors for the Jazz Festival in Washington before he took on this job. So he understands the value of a jazz festival and the growth and what it can bring economically to the state and to the city. Once again, this is Herbie, me and him talking about what is the long-term goal. Some of you guys see that football over there with all the rings on it. Well, my vision is to put on the Super Bowl of Jazz Festival. UNESCO and Herbie Hancock every year selects a city to do their global event. And right now, it takes a lot to get the global event here, but I know we're in the right lane now with the partnership that I have, that by 2028, we could have the United Nations right here in the city of Scottsdale with this event, which would turn into a seven-day presentation. So that's where we're at now. Please consider the budget that we ask, and possibly give me my budget from last year, or my grant from last year. And if you do, this is what will happen. Did you take this button, Steve? Is that video? Yes. Right. I think you can mouse to the bar. There you go. I'm going to bring this group in from Chicago and we can get more money. Once again, thank you very much for your entertaining me, and hope to see you at the Jazz Festival this year. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you, Gerd. Thank you very much.
If I can give you one closing thought. As I mentioned, I've known Doc since my, I think, second month here when he was celebrating International Jazz Festival out on the small, not yet renovated Civic Center areas. And I've watched this festival grow over the years from a very grassroots thing to what now is Scottsdale Jazz Fest. I think even through the pandemic, Doc's combination of tenacity and buoyancy has somehow allowed this to go forward and grow. And last year, I think, really was a bit of a breakout year. We had a tremendous success moving to the beautiful new East Bowl just outside of this building here, which makes for a great location for this. At that point, I thought it would behoove us to partner with the organization to give it some long-term stability, to allow us to look forward to, let's say, what happens in 5 years when this is a 2 or 3 day festival and it encompasses the entire Civic Center. I think Scottsdale is a fabulous location for jazz. I think we should really be proud of this as one of our heritage art forms in this country. And I think bringing it to this wonderful setting out here is amazing. We wanted to make a modest ask this year in line with the Tier 1 prerequisites in the TDC guidelines, and we ask you to hopefully support this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate it. I just wanted to make a quick comment with regards to the event on the 26th of April. I see that you're featuring Quincy Jones and all of his music, and I'm a huge lover of Quincy and everything that he's done for sure. So it was really nice to see that in the little information that we received. So I applaud you for that. Commissioners have any questions, concerns?
I think last year, what was the number last year, Steve?
The amount funded last year, excuse me, was $65,000.
Right.
This is agendized at $30,000 this year based on the request that came to us last week when we put together the packet. So it's up to $30,000 is the ask.
Okay, since there's no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the $30,000 request to support the one-year funding event for the Scottsdale Jazz Festival.
I move to support the $30,000 ask.
Thank you very much. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Next item on the agenda is the event program funding requests. It appears that we have a total of 5, and the total ask for this is
$79,000.
$79,000.
Between the community event funding program, with total is $55,000, 2 event venue fee programs at $24,000. So the recommendation from staff is requesting to approve the funding as presented.
Very good. Any questions on any of the either community events or event venue fee programs?
I move to recommend community event funding at 55 and the event venue funding total request at 24.
Very good. Do we have a second on the total request of $79,000?
I'll second that.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item would be staff reports.
Madam Chair, in the interest of time, I know we've an hour and a half into the meeting. Unless you have some specific questions, I think we'll come back next month and kind of bring it together, maybe in a three-month data collection presentation.
Sure, we can do that, Steve, absolutely. And so the line item 2, did you want to slot that in there before the commissioner's report? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So line item 2, the election of the chair and vice chair. I can't say enough about staff and the team and everybody that I have had a chance to work with during this full year of being a chair of this commission. I've served on other commissions in the past, and I've provided board chair support. And I have to say that the information and the trust and the absolute encouragement from staff and from other commissioners has been tremendous. So with that, I am stepping down, and I would like to nominate Anna Manier to fulfill the role as chair. And I'm hoping, Steve, that I can recommend that.
Yes, you can. You can go through
Very
the process for both if you like.
Okay.
Chair and
Okay.
vice chair.
Great. So I would entertain a motion to approve Anna Manier for the chair position for the next year.
I'll make that motion to approve Anna Manier for the chair position.
Very good. Do we have a second?
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that very, very much. Welcome.
Thanks.
And then the second item would be for the vice chair. And I believe that I'm going to let Anna speak to that. So by all means.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for your confidence in me stepping in as chair for the next year. I would like to make a nomination for the vice chair. The chair and vice chair work so closely with staff, and I think if Chris Montgomery would be willing to step in with me and have the time to do so, with your tenure on the commission and your knowledge in business and things, I would be honored to have you accept the role. Should we get the motions?
I would make that motion.
I would second.
Very good.
Are you willing to accept? I guess we should ask.
I didn't know what the process was. I'm voting for me.
Yeah, I figured. All those in favor of Chris Montgomery stepping in as our vice chair?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So line item 11, I'll just finish the meeting out. So line item 11 is the commissioner's report. I just wanted to say a few things. So I had a chance to walk in the Prado del Sol parade. I had an absolute blast. I'm a graduate of Scottsdale Community College, equine science, huge fan of that program, and I couldn't have been more deeply honored and have had the chance to do that. Saw some friends along the way, saw Brent and Rachel and my buddy Bob Frost down at the Western Museum. You know, he gave me a big hug, so that was awesome. I wanted to speak a bit about the Arizona Music Festival. Alan Naplin actually came to our board and talked about the Arizona Festival, the Arizona Music Festival, that is, and it's held out at Highlands Church. It's a huge venue, and I had the chance, I purchased my own ticket. I went and saw a performer yesterday afternoon. Yes, they have opportunities in the afternoon. And I saw this young woman who does a very good job of a Whitney Houston impression, and she did an amazing concert, up dancing and singing and all of this stuff, and it was a huge crowd. So, and I had a chance to see Alan and shake his hand and thank him for the opportunity to attend this event, and that he hosts this huge event. And there's so many people, and I was listening to some of the conversations that were going on around, and everybody loved it. Every single person was like, that was fantastic. Every concert here, and I had a chance to ask a couple people, and they just love it. So I'm just really, really thrilled about that. And I just, again, want to thank staff and everyone that has certainly helped me in this chair role, and thank you, everybody. If anybody has anything else to speak about. Okay, very good. We will entertain a motion to, any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, very good. And identifying future agenda items.
Next month, we'll probably be presenting the event funding programs, just as, you know, an update, and then request, you know, some feedback regarding them. That's our 4 funding programs that we just went through today. We'll probably have an update again on the staff report, a little more detailed on that. And I believe, I don't know if Rachel, you have anything? Oh, the stadium will be coming forth, as we discussed a little bit earlier. Is there anything from the commission you'd like to hear about?
No, not at this time, Steve. I think you got it, for sure. Entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second that. Or I motion, I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, very good. We have a second?
Sorry.
Second.
Okay, very good. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you all
Thanks
for
so
being
much.
here.
Thank you, thank you.